Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing in this? I want to say this evening, but some of the UKers among us have kind of pushed the envelope in terms of getting us online and running a little earlier. I'm talking to you, Blend That Film. I see you in the chat. So good evening, even though it is barely evening here. For some of you, it is a little bit more evening. And yet, at the same time, it's always a good time to be talking about mocap tech, about VTubers, about Unreal Engine, about the future of all of this stuff. There we go. See, look at that. What a segue. I got segues tonight, guys. So I won't keep messing around. Without further ado, so tonight's guest is someone who, sometimes when I want to talk to a guest, it's someone I stalk or I've been looking for him, or I've kind of been on the hunt to find or something like that. This guest kind of came to me just through the universe. This guest just hit me up and was like, "Hey, can we talk about something?" And it wasn't about the show; it was about something else. And then while talking to this person, I was like, "Okay, you are fascinating. I need to interview you." And that person tonight with us is Hardcore Rick from Offworld Live, who is here to talk about real-time avatars, some of the work that he's been doing with Offworld, and then also just generally the world of strange and weird 3D art. So I'm going to bring Rick on here. Just give me 1 second here. Let's bring you on. All right, guys, how's our audio? Rick, welcome to the show.
Hello. What's up?
Hey. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, really good. Thanks for having me on, dude. Yeah, very, very good. It's a little late over here, but I thought I'd do the courteous thing and stay up for you, because often on a lot of my calls with American people, they always end up getting up really, really early for me. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's one or the other. It's one or the other with GMT. I'm not really sure what to do about it. I'm going to start you out with a weird one. What do you tell people that you do? Like, if someone comes up to you at a supermarket or something like that, what do you tell? They're like, "Hey, you seem like a nice." I got to be really careful. I'm very tempted to say lad. I'm when I talk to British people, I'm always very tempted to co-op as much British stuff, whether or not it's real, that I can think of. Sorry. This is a classic Woody over-elaborated question. What do you tell people you do?
Yeah, that is the hardest question. It started out as the hardest question ever. Yeah, I usually say I work in 3D. And if I want to really shorten it, I'd probably say I work for a tech company. I mean, you could kind of describe it as that. And yeah, I guess that would be the super short way to describe it. Do you want me to go into the long way?
I think that suffices for me. Yeah. Why don't you give us the long way? I feel like I know what you do, because I feel like you kind of do what I do, if that makes sense. But yeah, give it to us.
Yeah. Okay. Without going into massive backstory, I guess it'd be that.
We'll get there. We're gonna go there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, started working with Offworld because.
Yeah, what's Offworld? Maybe that's the place to start.
Yeah. So yeah, Offworld. Cool. I get to plug immediately. Yeah, they are the dudes that have made the Offworld live streaming toolkit, which is a toolkit that lets you live stream out of Unreal Engine with zero latency, because it uses Spout. You can do it by NDI as well, which has some latency, but the toolkit enables you to literally, at the click of a button, live stream any data or anything that the graphics card is rendering, both anything that's in the Unreal viewport is going to go out via spout and NDI to whatever you want to send it to. And obviously the implications of that are mind-blowing, and that's kind of what I realized when I started working with these guys. I was just like, wow, the creative possibilities of this stuff is amazing. So that's what Offworld are. What I do with them is similar to what you do. They kind of hit me up and were like, hey, do you want to do Unreal tutorials? And I was like, I know nothing about Unreal. And they're like, that's okay, because we need that perspective of someone who's just figuring it out as they go along. And that kind of format has actually been really, really good, because it's meant that I can learn this stuff on the job, and then I can also explain it in a way that is kind of layman's terms or makes sense to people that aren't so deep into the world that they understand all the terminology and jargon and that. So yeah, I'm basically feeling my way around this virtual production, metaverse, real-time world. Feeling my way around that, and then trying to digest that information and put it out to the Discord community and hopefully grow that community a bit too.
Well, that's awesome. You're doing a great job. At one point I follow the channel, and at one point you just dropped like 20 tutorials in one drop, and I was like, like what? Like, it's so hard for me to get tutorials done. It's like kind of what I've set out to do to some level with the channel, but as well as these streams. But then, it's like, man, I think there's like it takes a certain type of person to be willing to continue to do tutorials, like, for sure. It's like sort of a niche thing, and it's kind of hard to do. How did you get into like taking a zoom outwards? Like, you've explained Offworld and what you do really well, and I think everybody here, because all you names in the chat, y'all are quite familiar to me. Because I know y'all, and I know what y'all are up to, and y'all are building really cool stuff. The same kind of thing that Rick here has built. Like, man, I love your avatar. I haven't said that yet or enough. I really love it.
I'm very stoked on it as well, to be honest.
I
decided I needed a makeover for UE5. I was like, I'm just going to totally redo it. And I had this kind of image in my head. And it didn't come out exactly as I thought. I was going to have this massive long snake neck and loads of like techie stuff going on, but it just kind of came out a bit scary. So toned it down a little bit.
Yeah, when you first sent me a picture, I was like, oh my gosh, you look like if Bjork was a VTuber, which got me really hype.
That is amazing, yeah. If that can be a headline associated to me, then I'd be very down for that.
Yeah.
That is very, very kind words.
Yeah, so like,
I love all her artwork for sure.
What I love about it specifically, and I'll tie this into a question, is like that you can, like, at a glance tell that you're just a really artsy person and you're into it. You're like, yeah, like, weird stuff, let's go. I'm like, I'm gonna like paint the nose. There's gonna be like an arcade on my shoulder that might be a weapon. Like, fantastic.
I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is. So, like, how did you? I mean, like, it's a great way to broadcast to the world like what your interests are. And I've seen some of your work outside of this, and it's great. So, like, how did you get into the creative life itself? How did you start down that road?
Interesting one for sure. I guess I just always been part of quite an arty family. My dad was like a blacksmith, but he made like gates and things like that. And my mum put on art classes. So it was basically just a reason for me and my friends to hang out, but we would do fun kind of artsy stuff. Had a bit of a new age mum growing up, so she was super accepting and pushed that creativity side of it for sure. And I just remember definitely a key moment was like just getting a tiny bit of encouragement in one direction in college, which is after secondary school, after middle school. I don't know what that is for America, but the medium level kind of
Oh, I think it's high school for us.
high school. Yeah,
Yeah.
where you're sort of starting to work out like what your choices would be, where you want to go with things. And I think
Yep. Yep.
literally got a tiny bit of push in one direction, and that's kind of all I got and all I needed, I guess. Really.
What was the push?
Someone just said to me like, "Oh, you're an illustrator," and I was like, "Oh, am I? Okay, fair enough." Fair enough. It turns out I'm not, now I see that.
Oh.
I, went on to study illustration basically based off of one person saying, "Oh, you're an illustrator," but that tiny bit of like, someone seeing that in me, even in that one comment, was a big boost for sure.
That's funny how that works. Like I think a lot about that. Like I think about like if I could just like spend 5 minutes getting to know kids, I could just like make up the future for them. I like get involved in some after school care center, and then I'll just be like, hey, you kid, you'd be a really great accountant or something like that. It's like you're so detail oriented or something. Just make something up entirely and just completely shape the outcome of this person's life.
Well, this is the thing, for better or worse. I feel like you definitely can. Yeah. I think I definitely kind of remember that statement quite a lot, and it shows it's been kind of pivotal, And if someone said to me, "Oh, you're an accountant," maybe I would be in a totally different place now. But I'm glad I'm here.
Well, you look like the farthest thing from an accountant, so that's it's good you're here. You told me a couple fun stories when we got the chance to catch up the other day. Do you want to tell me a little bit about some of your wardrobe collabs? This is fascinating to me. This is like one of the first things you told me, and I was like, that's a really great story. Talk to me about what you're rocking in real life right now for clothing.
Oh, actually, yeah, weirdly enough, I have one of the first wardrobe collabs, which was kind of before I like that name for it, by the way. Maybe I'll call it that. But
what name?
It was before I did like 3D or anything. It was just a way to reach out to people and try and get my artwork out there and try and get commissions when I knew people weren't going to pay through the teeth for it. So we're going for like smaller companies and magazines and stuff. And what I happen to be wearing today is one of the first ones I did, which was Offie Mag, which is like a Brighton-based hip hop magazine.
Which is tough because we can't see it. But keep going.
Yeah. I could do this pulling up things, but I feel like I'm gonna leave it to anyone's discretion to go and search this stuff. Search Offie Mag if you want a big plug there and see the cool stuff in there. But that was like black and white kind of thresholded, taking stuff from photos and I made the titles. I made the titles for this one magazine. And Offie Mag is a cool concept actually because it's off-license magazine, and off-license is like a corner shop or like the little shops you get in the city. And their idea is that this hip hop magazine is distributed and you can only find it in these corner shops.
Okay.
So that was how it started. Like, I would say, hey, can I do a bit of artwork for a T-shirt, or for whatever you got going? If I see something I like, I'm like, oh, I'll do that. And that was really nice because the trade, not having money being traded and trading art for art, as people could see that as a real pure thing. So I'd say like any freelancer starting out, I think that shows your intentions really nicely, because it's like, I'm not just trying to take money from you. I can see that you're doing a good thing, and let's trade art for art.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that I did that for in a kind of more broader graphic design kind of sense, I still do the occasional bits of work for, and still have a really good relationship with.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, essentially what you're saying is you're kind of starting a relationship in a way that means that you're not really asking for something, and yet at the same time you're not sort of opening yourself up to a bad deal where someone could the cliches about getting paid in exposure and all that. You're setting up something. You're kind of setting up a relationship, which I think is neat.
Yeah, And I think it is like it does come out pretty massively underpaid when you really think about it, unless you like
If you
literally
do it
take the
that way
value.
forever, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Unless you literally take the value of the t-shirt and say, "Oh, I'm gonna spend that amount of time on it," there's one way to do it. But um, it works as an icebreaker for sure, and then leads to paid work after. But
hopefully,
I kind of want to talk
hopefully.
about the development of that and how that is now 3D, because I do the kind of PS1 lo-fi graphics, and I've now just started reaching out to purely like people who make cool clothes and saying, "Oh, can I just get those clothes and just make a PS1 version of that character in those clothes, or make a PS1 version of your art, and um, in return, design me a hoodie or something." I've got some like one of one clothing as a result of this, like people that make felt sewn clothing and stuff like that. And it just feels real good to be like almost armored up with all this clothing that is super special, might be one of one in some cases, and is literally made with love as a kind of a trade of this art for art.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of interesting because like you have like a really I don't even know the word like high concept character that you're here with, and it's like it kind of like seems like a through line. Like you seem really interested in fashion, and you're able to kind of extend that through collaborations, but also like here into this into this space. Um, yeah. Yeah, so this is sort of off the top of my head and something I've just been kind of thinking about. So you said earlier, you're like exploring this metaverse space, but to me, what's
Mm.
kind of interesting about all of this is that it feels like people who code together their systems in Unreal, they tend to think that they're part of like some sort of like greater metaverse thing, and the people I meet who just like use stock uh like just like stock equipment and like maybe like they don't make the model themselves and stuff, who are just like using avatars as VTubers, like they tend not to be in that discussion, which I think is really interesting because like what you and I like we have like I'm not sure how familiar you are with the VTuber world. I'm sure you've crossed over with some people in like the work that you're doing with Offworld, because a lot of what you guys are doing is like you're creating a tool that helps people show their avatars in OBS in a stream. So the to me, what's like interesting about all of this is the idea that like just like how hands on we are. Like I wondered if you thought about that, because I feel like I know a lot of people who use avatars, but not everyone thinks that like necessarily means they're some sort of metaversal citizen.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, stuff I've been wrapping my head around definitely the past couple of months. Kind of only just had a new breakthrough with like what all of this stuff is from reading like this tiny article literally this afternoon, and it was the fact that a lot of uh, kind of military groups are sort of creating their own metaverses, and then that article kind of also
Oh,
defined metaverse as literally just using all the things that it entails, like internet, um, tracking, VR, um, you know, all these things. Because I was sort of thinking, like, where is the metaverse? What are we? When do we cross over to it? What is it as an actual thing? But then it's kind of like, as long if you're just using those things, then you're creating at least a metaverse, or um, some form of a metaverse. So to like, I feel like it's one of those words really that's going around, and I just see this stuff as like massively creative and amazing stuff. I think people that stream with more like from from the box kind of stuff, um, that's just like someone who's maybe less creatively inclined, but kind of more just wants to get this going for their stream, and that's fine as a use case. Um, I think like the people that are really diving deep with the getting into it, understanding how it works, and trying to be creative within it. It's just a different thing that people want to do, really. And I think I'm very glad I found like Unreal and stuff like this, because it's just literally like godlike powers. If you can understand it, just have an idea
Yeah,
and just see it
totally.
happen.
Yeah. The I think for me the like part of the way I process it all is marketing. Like a lot of the metaverse stuff is marketing. But I feel like something that like is kind of like a big thing of mine is like, and it like don't do the avatar thing if you're not like gonna walk away with skills that like last if your streams don't work out, because like most streams don't do that well. Like they're
Very
like
saturated
it's
market.
tough. It's really tough to like start building an audience. It's like really a tough thing. Like I was just reflecting to Rick beforehand that like I see so many names in the chat that I know and I see on the regular, and I'm really thankful for you guys, because it's not easy to just like keep putting yourself out there and then like seeing what'll happen, but like it's been really cool because like so many of y'all, like I think every single name in this is in the chat is like someone I recognize, someone I've been talking to. Actually, let's catch up with chat a little bit. We got some people commenting on your abstract style.
Oh, thanks.
Got some points in there about metaverse. Dead Sun says that when we're when we make our own avatars, it's a little bit more personal. I totally agree with that.
Big time. I want to make it exactly how I want it. That's why I do it like that.
Yeah. Hannah's talking about like when you're building your own setup, it forces you to think about the world you're building, which is absolutely true. Like it's cool. It's just kind of like it's all kind of coming to a head. I think it's like the tough part is like how do you pitch it? Like with people who are like very into like the metaverse nature of it, I think it's maybe a little easier if they're like a company to find like venture capital and stuff like that. But I think I'm maybe a little bit more like you in that like I do think about that a lot, but at the same time it's like at the end of the day it's like it's cool to be here and it's cool to just be like, I don't know, just doing this crazy thing, and like that nobody's really doing at least in the way that we're doing it.
I think it has a really interesting like overall society kind of poses quite an interesting comment on society. The fact that people are wanting to, I think the real time element is a massive thing for me. People are wanting to stream to each other and be in the same space, even though it's in front of a screen, and they want that immersion. It's just like, what does that say about people? Like I feel like I've from like social media and stuff, I'm so thankful for the fact that I can talk to people around the world, and you make friends in your area, like in your field of interest, so easily, and it makes the world feel so small. And I think these kind of metaverse kind of immersion kind of streaming, these kind of techniques are just all of us becoming more and more connected, really.
Yeah, it's interesting where it does and doesn't too, because like obviously like we're not actually in the same space. Like we're using webcams hooked up into like a video call service that is running into my broadcaster, and like so it's interesting because I think of like the metaverse as being something where you're like not really doing all that stuff. Like you kind of just join a room. Like it's almost more of like like an Xbox or a PlayStation like live service where you can kind of like just party up with people and like go to the same spaces. It's just like that's the only thing I don't love about everything I'm doing as a VTuber is like I wish I could just connect it. And I think I got to interview Fofamit maybe like a month ago, something like that, and I think probably what she would say is probably just like like that's VR chat. So which is something I've been meaning to get more into.
I think it's such a funny space. I've never like jumped into it myself, but just watching clips of it and stuff, it just cracks me up.
Yeah,
it's just a place where people just mess about, Cool.
Blend That Film, that's a good in the chat says there's nothing wrong with stock assets character creators as long as people make it unique, and I totally agree with that. I feel like we breezed over that briefly. I would say people out there who aren't necessarily into like learning all the code and making characters from scratch and stuff like that are not necessarily uncreative people. On days when I like don't get much done, like I think maybe sometimes those people are wiser people actually.
Mm.
uh,
Oh yeah, because I would just get bogged. Well, I think for me, what it always made me realize is like I'm more design kind of led, because I would just get bogged down in the way things look a lot of the time. And then I'm like, oh wait, I haven't learned any blueprints today, you know. Whereas like I think you can be like you can be just as creative in the kind of overall structure of what's going on. You know, you can be a game designer in terms of like the functionality of the game and how the game runs, or how whatever you're making runs. You know, that's definitely just as creative.
oh yeah. Oh, that reminds me. So you're actually part of the To Do Dungeon beta, which everyone who's been keeping up, like, and you know, and some of the chat, some of y'all in chat are in the game right now. How's it going for you? To Do Dungeon, if for anyone watching this later with zero context, is an RPG I built that maps onto your to-do list and creates a game around your personal productivity. Rick, you seem to be doing pretty well. I've been like I see all the stats every day and see how people do, and like I, you know, I so
Oh,
I
I
get to
know
watch.
it as well. I'm like going through my day thinking about how you're going to be reviewing this at the end.
Oh no, that's
Um,
not really a part of the process I want people to be thinking too hard about.
no, it's been really cool. I think it's like such a good way to get like driven in your day for sure, because uh and also just sticking to your to-do list. My to-do lists are usually really brief. I just write like the name of the person I'm doing the thing for, basically. And then this to-do dungeon has kind of made me break it down into, you got the levels, you got the like the level 1 tasks, you got the level 2 tasks, level 3 tasks, and that helps you break it down, because you realize, oh yeah, some tasks are smaller than others, which helps you sort of think about when to do certain tasks. But then overall, just having that drive of like, oh, my teammates are gonna be hacked to death if I don't complete my tasks for the day. It's a cool way to keep yourself on track. Sure.
Yeah, I think yeah. The reason I bring that up again is because it's just like another example of like gamifying or not gamifying everything, yes, but like it's just another example of like we can kind of like pull uh, all of this technology, like you said, godlike power. Once you know how to use it, you can like kind of start adding stuff onto your life. Like you could you can start you know, if you figure out how to pull data in, you can start like making visual media around the data, and then like, you know, you can start creating a game experience around that, or you know, you can find like the perfect way to make your avatar absolutely you. Like some of y'all are talking about in the chat, there's, oh my gosh, there's so many. Like I'm trying to split my attention appropriately between my distinguished guest and like the so many great points that y'all are making in the chat. I don't know if you can see this, but everybody's got like a lot to say and like really good stuff too.
I'm gonna jump in and check this out too.
Yeah, like some of y'all are talking about the, you know, the difference between making your own stuff versus like off the shelf stuff, and like talking about branding and being a brand and stuff. That's like a whole thing. Yeah. What if your tasks are level 5? There's no level 5. If your tasks are level 5, then a level 5 task is like giving birth. Mega Steak Man, you don't have any level 5 tasks, I am sure. Yeah.
These are all level 5 tasks, mega steak now.
Yeah, I mean, he accomplishes them, and they feel like level 5s, just with the panache he puts on it and stuff. Yeah. Yes.
I like this always struggle between the balance between being abstract and artistic versus simple. I like that a lot. I like that point a lot. It's something I've been thinking about, because yeah, like stylized is generally like simple. And it's something they're talking about. There's this game dev stream yesterday, which was quite good. Definitely worth checking out. They had loads of resources on where to find like resources for your games and stuff, and then they started talking about style and stuff like this. And yeah, I think instead of describing something as simple, you describe it as like economy, and you look at like Hokusai, or like, you know, ancient masters of like screen print and stuff like this. They make these amazing pictures with like a single line, and it's really really simple, but they describe like a whole tree with a single line, and that's not simplicity, that's economy of line, you know. They're summing up a whole idea with a very simple thing. So I definitely don't see simplicity as like, you know, having any less merit to it at all.
There is like a so there's like a line of thinking in the art world, which is like kind of what you're saying. It's not necessarily about simplicity, but there's this sort of this question of like what is the essence of something, you know, like what's
Yeah,
like can you get the essence of something in a drawing, and like
yeah,
can you get it in less strokes because you can figure out so quickly how to portray something in the soul of that thing, you know. It's another
yeah,
reason, I mean, that's another reason like we look at your avatar and we're like, oh man, this guy really, you know, he digs he's going all in on the art. Like you're gonna push the
yeah.
boundaries, and it's like because it gets to
Definitely
the
about
essence
that.
of you very
Mm,
quickly, and it's part of like I feel like it's been cool. That's why the VTuber community is so cool, is because like you're able to use an icon that like at a glance can kind of like tell people who you are.
yes, very true, very true. I think that's why I was kind of feeling the need for a makeover as well. Um, uh, because I had made 60 videos under this one persona. And I thought it was really, really cool at first, but I just like grabbed some grabbed some armor, like retextured it, like chucked a hat on my character and then used like a kind of edited face. And it's like it was in a bit of a rush. I thought it looked really, really cool at the time, but I guess sort of like as things progress, as like my understanding of everything progressed and my kind of feeling of like my ability to make something a bit more complex, I was like, it's time for a evolution, you know. um, and I don't know if these ideas just come to you at the right time, don't they? And like you just have to get them out. Sometimes you make them and then they're just like stuff that's just left in the corner. I've got this sick helmet that I might wear at some point. Uh, that is this project that I was like, wow, this is really awesome. It was kind of to do with Off-World and like streaming out of it, but it's kind of like in a back alley at the moment. And I guess maybe if that idea comes around again, then I'll pick it up again. But don't know where I was going with that. But it's just like these ideas, you know.
I have so many ideas. Hold on, my levels. I have so many ideas waiting for me in a back alley. I think I'm gonna get mugged, like just stepping out of my office. And
It's
it's
gonna be
kind of
like
a,
Dark Souls. You're gonna lose them all. Have to go back and get them.
oh yeah, no, yeah. I just started playing Elden Ring recently.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna stream it for I think the second time on Friday.
Mm.
Just like I'm trying to get my VTuber rig ready. I got to get my my Off-World Live setup good to go. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's the
Cool.
it's there's always stuff hanging on. Is there anything else that you like would codify in terms of like thinking about the way you think about artistic expression? Like, is there anything else that you live by, I guess, in terms of artistic philosophy?
Oh. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Well, that was just itching my nose. It went really weird. um. I think yeah. Like one thing that's like that I've noticed a lot is you need to like remind yourself of a lot of stuff. Like, so I used to like read loads and like especially like in college and stuff, I was like reading loads, and then I felt like once I'd read it, like I know it, it's fine. But I've realized like picking that book up again, or like I was reading back through my like dissertation, my final essay. Like I knew it all already, but just reading those words again was much needed, and that's the same with like philosophy and stuff, I think, because I love like like meditation and Buddhist philosophy and stuff like that. And uh, I think you can feel like you've just read it all and you know the stories and stuff and that's it. But I think you really need to like recharge that stuff sometimes and pick up the old books and just like even just reading a little passage from stuff can really set you on a different tangent, and that's why I've now got the like a few books like just beside my desk now. So just leave them there and just like pick them up and just read little bits from them, almost like a kind of, like I guess that's right why like religiously people will like, stick to the same books and cut back into them because you need reminding of this stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hear
that's
that.
one point, I guess.
I'm looking up and I can see books in my real world space. Actually, I mean, I have books in both my real world space and my non real world space. And I'm like, I definitely thought about like, okay, what are the books that like, what are the work books? Like, what are the space, like the books that belong in the space where I do my creative work? Yeah.
Mm.
Can you give us like a snapshot of like, is there like a specific thing like in one of those books that you find yourself coming back to a lot?
Whoa. There's When I was in uni, there was one a load of writing that I got like recommended by friends, and that was Zero Books. They're like a real kind of like anti-capitalist, kind of like um, disruptive left kind of publisher, and this is just something like sticks with me. It might not be like what I'm all about now, but this dude Mark Fisher wrote a book called Ghosts of My Life, and in that he has coined this term called hauntology. It's kind of like tautology, which I can't remember what tauntology means. I think tauntology is like our,
Tautology?
yeah. Isn't it
Oh
like
man,
our experience of the world? Have we taken stuff from the world or
if something is tautological, I used to know.
something? Yeah, I
I don't
can't
know
remember.
anymore.
No
I
wonder
don't
we
know
need to
anymore.
reread these things. Yeah. But hauntology was his rethinking of it, which was the feeling. It's like it taps into nostalgia and stuff, and it's the feeling that uh, they're kind of uh, the like the moments that have passed are kind of we have a nostalgia even for times before we've lived, and he
Hmm.
doesn't really know why that is, but it's like just this kind of ephemeral kind of feeling that um, that is really powerful. And I guess it's kind of why you see like that Backrooms film that's come about is
Oh
like
yeah.
16-year-old kids. It made this amazing um, piece, and he's like really well uh, made the style of a time before he was even alive. And it's because he's run it through a VHS tape, but he wanted to make it that way, and he wanted to make it kind of timeless, or like in the past, but kind of there's something really interesting about that interplay between times and things like that. It's also like skate videos
Oh
are always
yeah.
filmed on like VX or something, and it's like people that aren't into skating at all. They're like, how are these people in the 90s wearing like 2000s clothes, and like to an outsider that's just like kind of strange, but it's got something like kind of timeless and interesting about it.
There's sort of a suggestion of an emotion that comes from a given set of tools that you would use to make something.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
That's
yeah, like the emotion is in the tools
yeah.
just as much as many people. Yeah.
Why is that important to you? Like, what do you get from that?
Yeah, I think it's just I like just thinking about the reference points and different times, and I think like understanding points in the past and just seeing where the future's going as well, and just noticing these patterns and how everything is a cross reference of the past next to the future. It's just kind of, if you look at like the past and the future, it's like the nature of coming up with ideas, really, because you know to come up with ideas, you have to combine it with previous ideas that you've already learned. So that meddling with time is really interesting to me, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like there's like an interesting discussion to be had about that because like there's the nature of like combining things. Like I think at this point, like I almost don't want to like describe it as a novel thing because this book's been around a long time and like plenty of people have heard of it. But there's this book called Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon, and it's at the time no one was really talking about the fact that like most ideas are sort of recycled out of other ideas, and whether you're appealing to nostalgia or otherwise, like it's kind of like the building blocks of creativity are like the mashed up bits of other creativity, and the people who do it really well are the people who are able to sort of like blend it all into a smoothie versus just like present like the bit of creativity they found somewhere else, like they're able to kind of like combine a lot of different things into making something new, which I think is really cool.
Something that's understandable to other people, that's key as well. You can't just make art that makes no sense to anyone.
Yeah. Right, because that's like, at that point, like, why, if you're not making art to like connect with people, why are you doing it? Which is something I think about. But like specifically, the idea of like, whether it's like shifting aesthetics between time periods or whether it's like thinking about the nature of what's come before, like I do kind of struggle against that idea sometimes. Like I do feel like part of what's interesting to me about having a weird virtual interview show with like a bunch of different guests from like all sorts of different walks of life that are doing interesting things on the internet, like I do feel like there's sort of a sense of future possibility that are things we haven't seen before, and that's like I'm sort of interested in riding that curve of like what can exist that is new. Like that newness thing, just the word newness is like something I think about a lot. Like, not that it's always feasible, but like that there are at least enough possibilities to suggest something that should feel fresh to people, whether that's in the technology or otherwise.
Yeah, definitely. I think I think when you look at like old sci-fi films and stuff, they've got this idea of what the future is going to be like, but the future always comes about in like a lot more of a detailed and interesting and weird kind of way than anyone can really predict.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Yeah, there's definitely certain futurists that are like pretty on point, and like scarily accurate. But yeah, I definitely like what you're saying about this being like the closest thing to something new. It definitely feels very, very new to me. Just being able to play with stuff in real time is like amazing sense of satisfaction with that. Just taking like Niagara particles and like getting an actor to just like wade through those Niagara particles is just like,
which is something I still have to figure out how to do. Like
we got a sick masterclass on the Offworld YouTube actually, with Sam Schroeder. He's like this awesome VFX VJ kind of dude, and he came in and did an awesome hour thing on doing just that, making an actor interact with Niagara particles. So, there's a tutorial on that.
The stuff is ridiculous. It's like, do you get like, I mean, I wish I had like a better, more clever way to phrase this. Do you get Unreal FOMO? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, do you get the like frustration with like it's cool to have a channel and do tutorials, but they're like, I don't think people realize how many things I still want to learn. Like it's just insane how many things that I'm like, oh, like I definitely want to spend some time on Niagara, and I definitely want to spend some time, even just like with some certain devices and APIs and things. And it's like, how do you think about that? Or are you just kind of like got your lane and you're good to go and you don't think about to the left or the right?
No, I'm definitely like spread all over. I'm starfishing all over Unreal at the moment. I definitely have FOMO about it all. I think, but I guess you just got to accept that you can only do so much, and wherever you end up, kind of
easy
like,
answer. That's such an easy answer. Come on.
What are you saying? I should do everything?
No, I mean, you're just like, it's like I'm like, oh, it's really tough to not be able to do everything, and you're just kind of like, yeah, you gotta make peace with that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Unreal FOMO. I feel like I have like coder FOMO. I wish I was like a whiz coder where it's like, oh, I want a program that can do this. Let me just write that up quickly.
Yeah,
that's something I want to be able to do, but it's so far from even being massively, looking at blueprints and stuff still feels very far from being a coder.
That's interesting, because I don't want people to take you the wrong way unless you're really going there. I feel like blueprinters are coders to me. Like I'm not interested in that whole like real coders don't do blueprint thing. That's like
No,
that's
no,
gatekeeping to
I'm
me.
not saying that at all. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
because it's
okay. Good.
still like ridiculously complicated, like, and you can still create functionality and stuff, and yeah, definitely not dissing that side of it at all. I think I will only ever like make stuff that kind of functions using blueprints. I can't see myself like learning C++ or something. Maybe down
Yeah.
the line, but I'm so grateful that Blueprints is out there because it's like such a good such a good reason to get stuck into it for sure.
I think if I ever did do that and pursue that, it like will be nice to be able to like kind of convert blueprints into C++. Like that'll be kind of a cool way to do it. But
Mm,
yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like all the core logic is the same in the same way that
mm,
like whether you're a 2D illustrator or or when you made your move to 3D or like all that stuff. Like there's like some fundamentals that kind of carry all of that through. I'm trying to get this like a little bit less technical. Like whenever a
yeah.
guest is like, how technical do you want me to be about the workflow? I'm like not no like
Mm.
make it the opposite of that. Make me like
Yeah.
talk about theology. Talk about something that's like not it's not that because that's the thing too is like the insider language is hard to follow, but also like I'm interested in like talking to people about what's uh like what's the thing behind the thing, what's interesting about the stuff to you, and like why do you want to do it, because like we
Definitely.
could we could we
Definitely.
could like like we can have the offline chat about like how to use the plugin or spout or like all that good stuff, but like if we're gonna have a conversation that like on it goes on the record, like that stuff's all gonna date itself. What's not gonna date itself is like you and your cool stories and like being yourself.
Yeah. I really like that kind of ethos with this kind of chat, and it's definitely stuff that gets me going a lot. Just the ideas behind this and what this all means for people. Um, I'd just like to share a bit about one of my little game projects in that case.
Oh yeah.
That kind of like that kind of really that was a big moment for me, definitely.
Tell me about it. What's the game
Was
project?
Yeah, so the game was it was called ID Quest, and the idea was that we get DJs to send MP3s to our game that people can only download from the game, and you can only get the tune by finding the track in the level. So you can hear it at some point with spatial audio in the level. But you have to like get to the source of the track to find the track ID and get the download. And so it's like an online game. And this all came about because of lockdown. And it was like I was working at a techno club as a graphic designer, and then we were like, oh no, clubs aren't a thing for the next year or so. So I was like, oh, we need a free online rave for people. Um, which is like a load of people had the same idea. And Offworld actually made the biggest one of those, which was like one of the big ones, which was Resident Advisors one, which was Club Q. And that's how I got in touch with Offworld actually, by asking them for advice on making these kind of online games with audio reactivity and stuff. But yeah, ID Quest was my one. It was a real like low key one. We managed to get a load of DJs involved. We got a load of artists involved as well to like give us 3D scans of their sculptures and stuff and like chuck it in the level. Um, and yeah, as a really cool kind of metaverse point, I think.
You said it was
Uh,
online. Like, was this like a networked experience? Like, lots of people could
yeah,
be there at once.
yeah, it
That's
was. You
cool.
downloaded it off of my Google Drive and installed it, and a load of people didn't even get past that stage because they were like, "Oh, this is going to give me a virus." We had to actually install it, and then it was networked once you installed it. We made it on Godot, and I had like a developer basically do a lot of the game functionality side of it. But that was like my first kind of place of learning any of this stuff. Um, but like the artists gained so much. I think it was partly because of the isolation everyone was in. They gained so much from having some like feedback on their work, having some eyes on their work, seeing their work in different contexts under different like lighting, different like atmospheres. And that got me thinking like, oh, this is just prototyping for art. Like we're able to just like see what this art looks like with this sound in the background. and we basically did it for free, you know. And then from that, you can go on and create the massive installation. It was basically like prototyping, and then also the fact that people were running around. It was anonymous, and there was a little chat box. There's just a single chat stream, and everyone was just being so cheeky and like hilarious. Kind of VR chat vibes. Is like that anonymity meant that everyone was just going crazy and like doing hilarious things. And I guess maybe that also came down to the isolation, but that was definitely a feeling that like me and everyone who'd worked on that had managed to bring people together and give them the feeling that they were kind of hanging out again, you know.
Yeah.
That was kind of before anyone was talking about metaverse, but I guess that was a little like example of a similar kind of thing.
What does that feel like to have accomplished that?
Yeah, it definitely feels good to have done something with my lockdown, you know. That was good.
No, I mean, like, to create that experience, like, yeah, I mean, like, I mean, I think we're all like everybody in the chat, me included, is like you know, my avatar is like a product of lockdown in some way or another. Even if it didn't all happen during lockdown. I mean, a lot of it did, but like what is it? How does it feel like to create a connected environment like that and to be able to like host that kind of art experience?
Yeah, it's definitely like I'll always look back on it positively for sure. It was like a whole load of, I don't know how I was so insanely driven at that time. I was just like, this needs to happen.
I gotta go to a rave. I gotta go.
Yeah. Don't hold me back, you know. Yeah, I was a product of a lot of work, a whole lot of time, and then, you know, although I got a lot of comments of like how unpolished it was, and like some people were like, terrible execution on this, you know, but I was stoked on it. It could have been even better for sure, but I think VR chat rave win.
Yeah, that's
down.
Sort of a running joke. Yeah, Kyle will do it. Like, you pick the time, sir. You gotta get back to us with that. I'm around.
I don't have a VR set yet. I can jump in without it though, can't I?
I don't know. I don't know about VR chat, but like you gotta get one because we gotta get you a full body.
Yeah.
We gotta get you. You know,
I'm reaching out to people.
We gotta you know, we gotta make it. Make it happen for you here.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, just like the creative possibilities of that are just awesome. You seen the dude who's like trying to make his rig backflip, and he's like documenting it day by day, like training. I don't know if he's training it.
Are you talking about Citizen Meta 1? Are you talking about
It's not Citizen Meta 1, it's another dude.
I've seen him do a flip in a mocap suit. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I saw him do that and I was like, oh wow, that's it's been done then.
But you're not talking about him, you're talking about a different guy?
I think this was AI, not mocap. I think this is actually an AI dude.
Oh, okay.
It's like some kind of AI model, and he's like, maybe
do you have this? Like, can you pull this up or something? Is there a way?
Yeah, I'm gonna search for it now. I haven't been able to find this dude before, but he keeps like coming up at the right time. But it's just hilarious, you know, and I think that's like an awesome thing in itself. He's set up everything in his room with like physics and stuff, and he's just got like sound effects when it gets knocked over and stuff. And he's just like day 10 of teaching this thing to backflip, and it's gone terribly wrong again in a new way. This is awesome.
That's great. I don't want to get too derailed. Maybe it's probably about that time where we play a game on this show.
Cool.
Are you ready to transition? I want to see what you're talking about for sure, but if it's more expedient to maybe just start the game.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't think I'm gonna find this guy anytime soon.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right then. Let me get you the. I'm gonna switch you down here to a little window, make you real tiny, and yeah. So we
Zoom
got
in
a
then.
we got a special one. Some people call this the mean game on the show, but I feel like you're really gonna dig it. I feel like you're this has hardcore Rick written all over it. So we're gonna play a game of Ai Chimera. So here's how the game works. You're gonna have I think like about like you can see the timer here. This is about the rate. I want to say you have a minute. I want to say you have 2 minutes, and I want to say you have 45 seconds because I honestly I don't remember. I make these games really quickly and just shove them into production. You can see here's about the speed. That this timer is running. This is just like a blank scene, but you can see you're gonna have this much time. You have 6 guesses to guess the images that appear within the AI pictures that you're seeing. And if you need me to, I can sort of like I can punch in and get you like a sort of a closer shot here if you want to see it a little bit closer.
Okay. I got you. Yeah. So yeah, I feel.
Don't look at chat. Chat is always great at this. Everyone in the audience like usually kills it on these. So
less pressure. Less pressure on you guys.
Yeah. So you guys will have fun with it. I usually like to shout out people who are in the chat who are able to make it happen. But we're gonna focus on Rick and see how far you can get. Are you ready for the first one?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, someone is calling me, and I need them to not call me. There we go. Okay. So here's your first round. The timer will start, and you have only so much time to guess what's in the image. And then you'll also get points for each correct guess and points for the total image. So you could earn 150 points, 50 points each. So this is your first one. This is like a little bit easier.
Obviously, one obvious image coming through here. I feel like it's always just dogs anyway, but
it's always dogs.
So dog is one. Is it a specific dog though? I'm not good at dog breeds. Is that okay? So there's a dog.
Yeah, you have a dog here. Let me see if I can.
Can you zoom in enhance a little bit?
Yeah, here you go. Sure, you got a dog.
Okay. Oh.
So let's see a dog.
Is that like?
Yeah, you got a dog.
Okay. Is there hair? Is it like curly hair?
Curly hair? Oh, nope, no curly hair. Sorry.
Ooh. Okay. My other thing was gonna be coral reefs.
Coral reefs. See coral reefs. No.
Oh. So do I have 3 more guesses? Do I?
Yes, you have 3 more guesses, but time is running out.
These 2 other ones are so hard. Bike tires.
Bike tires. No.
Are people in the chat getting this? I'm not looking, but.
I'm having trouble looking either because I want to.
Wait, can you zoom again? Can you zoom again quickly?
Yeah, totally.
I almost saw something then, but it's gone.
Do you want me to like? It's like in the jump. All right.
That's not helping. Is it bike handlebars?
Bike handlebars. No, sorry.
Okay, mop.
A mop. No. Yeah.
Oh, that's really hard.
Sorry, it was pipes. Was metal pipes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Such a vague thing.
All right.
Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, Mario coins going on.
Mario coins. Let's see. So that's your first guess? Yeah.
I guess.
Mario coins.
I feel like maybe Mario.
We got Mario.
Okay. Sweet. Sick. Awesome. Is that painting Gustav Klimt?
Is it Gustav Klimt?
No, it's a harp. It's not the kiss, is it? It's not a kiss. Okay. Harp, angel. Say angel.
Let's see, angel. That is correct. You had only 2 images to guess on this one. You're gonna get the cumulative points for both of those, as well as the points for the whole image. So you're up to 400 points.
Nice.
All right, yeah, chat's getting it. Blend That Film got the Mario reference. Okay, I was wondering how well that one was gonna go over. All right.
I can't believe it was gonna be that specific painting.
Yeah. All right, so this one things are getting a little harder.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
It's definitely an iPhone. Give me an iPhone.
An iPhone. Let's see here. Ooh. Yeah, let's see the iPhone. Yep, we got an iPhone.
Yeah.
A little desk situation here.
Desk, yeah. Okay. Octopus?
An octopus. And yep, that's right. You got it. All right, just 2 sub images on that one. Yeah, I've tried to like dumb down the difficulty a little bit. Dumb down's the wrong word, but you catch me. I'm trying to make this not insane. But this one I think you might struggle with a little bit.
Whoa. Okay. Okay, I definitely see a flower.
I can see the flower too. Oh, sorry, say again.
Is it cakes?
Cakes.
Very cakes.
I'll take cakes.
Yeah.
Well, cupcakes.
Okay. I see. All right. Okay. The other, is it just made up of 2 as well?
This one. So it'll tell you at the bottom. This one's 3.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's a little bit more opaque.
Yeah. I'm kind of trying to like see through the image. Squinting a lot. Waterfall. Is that a waterfall?
A waterfall. Let's see a waterfall. Yep. We got a waterfall.
Okay, very good. I wish I wasn't in the way of that corner.
Oh, yeah, do I need to, like, can I move a little bit or something for you?
Doesn't matter too much, but... is it flower petals? Are there flower petals in that?
Here, is that a little better?
Oh, nice. Oh, it didn't really reveal
Flower,
much anyway.
Flower petals.
Tricky. This is hard. This is difficult. I mean, the waterfall kind of just suddenly appeared to me, so maybe something else will.
Yeah, keep going. This is probably the hardest one in here, I think, maybe. It's pretty difficult.
I'm glad my mocap isn't picking up the exact face I'm doing right now, because it's very squinty.
All right, you're about halfway on time.
Yeah. Seeing it smaller is helping, actually. I don't know.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's some yellowy tinge going on, isn't there?
Yeah, you might want to throw some guesses out. You're starting to run low.
Yeah. What things are yellow? Sunset?
Sorry, no sunset.
Beach ball. Balloon.
Beach ball. Sorry.
Okay. Wait. Final guess. No, I've got nothing. Yellow.
Yellow. I can't accept yellow. I'm afraid. I don't think yellow's gonna happen.
Gold coins.
Coins. Oh. Yeah.
Ooh.
Sorry about that.
What was that one?
It was actually a building, but I can't really see it either. That's a tricky one. So.
Oh, it's a new one. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Oh. Does that say sardines?
I don't know what it says. Hey, you're the one playing the game.
Oh my god, I like this image, but it's really abstract.
Yeah, it's got a palette, doesn't it?
Sorry.
It's got a palette, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it definitely does. Okay, so I feel like there's bike wheels. Say bicycle. No, wheelchair. We go wheelchair.
Oh, wheelchair. Okay.
Yeah. So you see some handles.
One second. Wheelchair. Yeah, we got a wheelchair.
Wow. That's so last minute, that decision. Oh, I see umbrellas as well.
Umbrellas. Let's see them.
Yeah. Okay. What is the final bit of this?
You're actually doing really, really well.
Thank you.
I hope I'm not stressing you out.
You are.
Oh, okay. Well,
No, it's good. It's really good fun.
that's that then.
Yeah.
All right,
Uh,
time's a ticking.
garden. Garden.
Garden.
Yeah.
You're close on garden.
Woods. Woodland.
Mm-mm.
Field.
Field. Sorry, no.
What? Ah. Can I get a zoom again quickly?
Yep. Yep.
Bush.
Is that your final guess?
Uh, mm, um. Yes.
Bush. Okay. Sorry.
There's nothing else I could have
Yeah.
possibly. What was that?
No, I'm afraid it was a koi pond.
Oh,
That's why garden was close.
should have known.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
it's always the koi pond.
Yeah. All right. The next one. I think we got this might be our last one. This might be
Cool.
our last one. Let's see
All
here.
right.
Yeah, I think
Ready to
actually
smash it.
this is our last one. This is an image that's been on the show before. This is like the all-time hardest one, I'd say, of
Really?
like ones we've run before. Let's just
The boss battle.
give it a go.
Okay. Okay, so there's one image sticking out to me mostly. Is that an ice skater?
Yes, we have ice skater.
Cool. Other than that, it's
Yeah,
like,
now
come on.
now you're kind of like now you're kind of washed.
Yeah. Marshmallows?
Marshmallows. Once again, close but
Wait.
not quite.
What's close? Candy floss.
Candy floss? What's candy floss?
Wait. Cotton candy.
Cotton
your way.
candy. Once again, really, really close.
What else is there?
It's
Um.
there's other colorful things.
Oh. Why is it giving that red on the top? That's what I'm thinking about. Is that like teeth?
Teeth? Teeth.
Saying I guess as if I want to rethink that.
Yeah. They're pointing out in the chat that you're doing a really good job. Really.
Thanks for the
really,
encouragement, guys.
This is our hardest game for sure.
Um.
Your
what
name's Hardcore Rick, though. I had to give it to you.
True. Yeah, I'm glad you gave me the challenge. Come on. What other things are fluffy, or pink and bulbous? Pillow. Is it a pillow? Is it a bed?
Pillow, no.
Um. Forgetting that people can see me. I'm closing my eyes now. Trying to imagine. No idea. No idea. Can't even think of one more guess.
You're already you did fantastic. It's
Thanks.
that's
I
the
think I
end.
really tried as well. I tried.
You did great. You got 1,300 points. You know, you got plenty of points for correct guesses. The what you were missing here was the Easter egg and the moon. And I don't know how you're gonna find those. All right, let me bring us back to a little bit more of a close. Yeah,
Nice.
so everybody can kind of see us and stuff. Yeah, so I feel as though I've taken quite enough advantage of your time zone tonight. So thank you so much for hanging with all of us and for doing this crazy thing and for abstracting with me and playing this crazy game. It was really nice to have you.
Dude, and it's been my first like live appearance, you know, so thank you so much for that. And it's been really, really lovely. So, you know.
Yeah, I see on the technical end, I think you really crushed it, you know?
Cool.
The whole rig, just looking great, man. So
I appreciate. And obviously love to be in touch with anyone that's in this chat, and obviously you too, Woody. It's so great to meet you guys. And everything I said, definitely
Yeah.
mean wholeheartedly. I love this interconnectivity that we have going on, and yeah, just keen to hear more from everyone really and get this creative stuff going.
Yeah, you can find Rick in our Discord as well as you can find me, which is always a great place to hang out to be able to talk about all of this stuff. So if you want to talk avatars, you building your own, you want to know some stuff about Unreal, that's the place to be. Or if you want to play an interactive to-do game, we're currently closed for the beta. Like we're kind of got our roster set up, but lots going down to Discord. It's the place to be. I can't plug our Discord enough. Also, it makes me super super happy because I see all y'all talking to each other, and it's fantastic. So, Rick, thanks again. Thanks for being our guest, and thanks for talking with all of us. And this is another virtual Woody variety show in the books. So,
Big time. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, everybody. See you around. See you at the next one.
See ya.
All right.